become more and more exposed to this culture, you will begin to experience others who have been indoctrinated by a government school system that is devoid of God and Christian moral principles. So understand that they have been trained to think a certain way, and it is remarkably consistent across the board and opposite of the way you've been trained to think. You will be presented with some very unnatural philosophies that are now considered justified and rightful, and actually the norm that our church considers inherently evil, such as contraception, divorce and remarriage, sterilization, abortion, and homosexual activity, now being pushed to the point of legal recognition. So, is all lost? Has society gone to hell in a handbasket? Some think so. But what do you do? The other day, in reply to one man's question, what will you do when the current White House occupant is reelected, I replied, the same thing I've been doing for the last 3 years, or 43 years for that matter. Live out loud. The scriptures say, be hot or cold, but not lukewarm. But because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will begin to vomit thee out of my mouth. From the book of Revelations. This culture suffers from a painful level of mediocrity. We are called to live out loud, to be on fire for the faith and what is just and right. The other day in polling the question, what would it take for more Catholic couples to be open to having large families? I received mostly answers related to finances. But interestingly, 2 answers differed from those and were very similar to each other, and came from moms who are associated with this group. They said something to the effect of giving a joyful witness to family life, just having fun as a family. I would have to agree with them. You see, joy is infectious. People long for it. And in this society, it is starving for it, trying to find it in material things, to the point of committing sin in order to have them. But it doesn't work. So I offer to you, have a beautiful life. Most of your peers do not know how to have a beautiful life, but you have lived it in your own homes. When those alternatives are presented to you or thrust in your face, know that you are right and they are wrong. And do not be intimidated, for their numbers are great. This is the paradox of the Catholic moral law that the world will not understand. By living within the boundaries of Catholicism, which does require us to deny ourselves at times and moderate the desires for pleasure, we can experience a full life. The most obvious expression of this is in the large family. If God calls you to married life, make it a priority to be open to being generous and bearing children. It helps to recall that what we experience today in our culture is nothing new. Governments, nations, and cultures have risen up against the Catholic Church and her faithful repetitively throughout history. And when that has happened, God has responded by raising up great saints to show the glory of His church. These saints, even in the midst of persecution and at times even martyrdom, always showed 2 qualities: joy and peace. The Lord does not promise us pleasure and happiness if we follow Him, but He will give us peace despite what we encounter. So this is our time to be saints. This is your time to be saints. So once again I say, have a beautiful life. Live out loud. Be not lukewarm. And stand tall and be proud to be Roman Catholic.